Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the most profitable 11 of all time. So as you may have seen, I did a short on this video, but I kind of wanted to do a longer version and break it down, talking a little bit more about each player. So we're going to talk about what position each player plays, like alternate positions, the teams that profited off of them, obviously, the teams that sold them, what the fee was for them to come in, and the window that they ended up coming in, and to kind of compare how many of these are in the summer versus January. And then on the other side of things, we're going to look at the buying club, how much the team bought them for, the window that they left in, and then kind of the overall profit. And I wrote down a couple notes because there are some that I thought were more interesting than others. So I just wanted to quickly preface this by saying this is the most profitable players who were bought for a fee. So this doesn't include academy players or players in on free transfers. And all the values that I used in this video are pulled off of transfermarkt.us. Alright, so to start, we have the goalkeeper, Alisson. So Roma purchased him from Internacional in Brazil, in the top tier of Brazil, for 8 million euros in summer of 2016. He ended up leaving Roma for Liverpool in the summer of 2018 for a fee of 62.5 million euros, which is a total profit of 55 million euros. And is actually a world record fee for a goalkeeper. So the most expensive goalkeeper of all time is actually Alisson. And the fee was 62.5 million euros. So, I mean, for Liverpool, this ended up being a fantastic move. Alisson's one of the best keepers in the world. No complaints there. All right, now at right back, we have Kyle Walker. And he can also play left back and center back. So Tottenham was the team that ended up purchasing him from Sheffield United for 5.9 million euros. And Sheffield United was actually in the second division at the time, the championship. And this is in the summer of 2009. And as you all know, he moved to Man City. The fee was 52.7 million euros, and that was in the summer of 2017. And the total profit from that move was 47 million euros for Tottenham. Kyle Walker is one of the best right backs in the world. One of the greatest English defenders of all time. Definitely great move by City. Tottenham can't be mad though. 47 million profit. Great business by both of them. So at left back, we have Marc Cucurella, who can also play right back or center back. Getafe sold him to Brighton in the summer of 2021 for 18 million euros. And then he ended up making his big money move to Chelsea this past summer in 2022 for 65.3 million euros. So Brighton ended up profiting 47 million euros in just 1 year off of him, which is fantastic business. Cucurella has yet to impress really at his time at Chelsea. He's a very good defender and he's shown his class so far, but he hasn't really made that next step that people expected of him. I mean, he's a really young defender and he's been there for half a season, so who knows what direction this one could go in. So our first center back is going to be Harry Maguire, who made the move from Hull in the summer of 2017 to Leicester for 13.7 million euros. And then just 2 summers later, Manchester United came knocking and paid a whopping 87 million euros for him, which is a current world record fee for a defender. And Leicester ended up profiting 73 million off of him, which is great business by them. Now Maguire's been thrown into the fire recently, for good reason, but he's been a lot better this year under Ten Hag. And I mean, just how long he's played there, he's been there for 3 years now, going on 4. And say what you want about him. He's a pretty good defender. This past season has been brutal for him, but his first couple of years there, he was serviceable. Obviously, 87 million is a lot, but he's been a good defender. So our second center back on this list is Virgil van Dijk, which would come as a surprise to no one. He made the move from Celtic in the Scottish Premier League to Southampton in the summer of 2015 for a fee of 15.7 million euros. And then in January of 2018, actually, he went from Southampton to Liverpool for a fee of 84.65 million euros, which gives a total profit of 69 million euros. Fantastic move by Southampton as they made it obviously a ton of money, but it's also a good move by Liverpool. He's been their best defender for years, and he's been one of the best defenders in the world for a couple of years now. So our central defensive midfielder is Casemiro, who in the summer of 2013 made the move from Sao Paulo in Brazil to Real Madrid for just 6 million euros. And then this past summer in 2022, he made the move to Manchester United from Real Madrid. And that was for 70.65 million euros, which gives Real Madrid a total profit of 65 million euros over 10 years of having the player. And this fee paid by United was actually the second highest fee ever paid for a player over 30 years old. And Casemiro has kind of been a revelation so far in Man United's midfield. He's been a huge difference maker. They retain the ball a lot better than they used to, and he's just a fantastic player. While 70 million is a lot of money, and he's certainly not young, this one it could end up paying off in the end. Who knows? He's been really good so far. So our central midfielder is Chouameni, who can also play central defensive midfield. And Monaco purchased him from Bordeaux for 18 million euros in the January window of 2020, and Real Madrid this past summer, actually in 2022, purchased him for 80 million euros, which is a profit of 62 million euros over just 2 seasons of having him. Fantastic business by Monaco. So Chouameni for 80 million. It's too early to say anything really, but he's been really impressive in his time so far at Real, and at the World Cup he played outstanding. So I think this one he'll end up being worth every penny. And our attacking midfielder is Zinedine Zidane. Juve paid $3.5 million for him in the summer of 1996 from Bordeaux in France. And then in the summer of 2001, he made the move to Madrid for 77.5 million euros, which is a profit of 74 million euros. And this fee actually broke the world record at the time. It was really uncommon back then to see a fee like this. It broke the record by a million miles. Zidane's one of those players. It doesn't matter how much you pay for him. He's worth everything. Can't really say anything. Real Madrid, 77.5. It could have been a lot more, and he would have been worth it. So at left wing, we have Dembele, who can play wing on both sides. So Dortmund purchased him from Rennes in France for 35 million euros in the summer of 2016. And then just 1 year later, in the summer of 2017, Barca ended up paying 140 million euros for him, which in 1 year, it's absurd to have made 105 million euros off of him. Dortmund, once again, one of the best clubs for developing players in the entire world. It feels like they make money on every single player that they buy. Well, 140 million euros is definitely an overpay. Who knows? You could still improve a lot, and you could still make a big money move somewhere else, and they could recoup most of that value. So at right wing, we have Coutinho, who can play left wing or attacking mid. And Liverpool purchased him from Inter in Serie A for 13 million euros in the summer of 2013. And then in January 2018, sold him to Barca for 135 million euros, which is 122 million euro profit. Obviously, Coutinho is one of the worst transfers of all time, but it's kind of outrageous that Barca are willing to pay 135 million for him. Definitely did not work out for them. So our striker is Neymar, who can play left wing, attacking mid, right wing, very versatile player. So Barcelona purchased him from Santos in Brazil for 88 million euros in the summer of 2013. And then PSG purchased him from Barca in the summer of 2017 for 222 million euros. And this is a current world record fee. Obviously, it's a shit ton of money. While 220 million euros is a lot of money, he's been worth it. I mean, he's been every bit as good as the price tag. He's one of the most creative players of this generation. He'll go down as one of the best goal scorers, one of the most technical footballers of all time. With what he's done to that PSG team, it's turned them into a powerhouse. Every year they're fighting for Champions League. They bottle it every year, but I mean they're in the mix, and it's in large part due to him. He's done a lot marketing wise to help boost their entire club's value. 222. It's probably worth it if you look at the financials deep down in there. So now I kind of want to do a breakdown of the leagues that these players are purchased from. So this is the clubs that the profiting team purchased the player from. So 3 of these players came from the top tier of Brazil. 3 of these players came from Ligue 1. 1 came from the Premier League. 1 came from La Liga. 1 came from the Scottish Premier League. 1 came from Serie A. And 1 came from the English Championship. And now for a financial overview of the entire team. So the total fees paid for all the players was 224.8 million euros, which comes down to around 20.4 million per player, if you average it out. And then the total revenue was just under 1.1 billion euros, with that equating to 97.9 million euros per player. And then the total profit was 853 million euros, which is 77.5 million euros profit per player on this list. So there are a few things that I kind of just wanted to point out that I thought were interesting. The first one being that Bordeaux produced 2 of these players, being Chouameni and Zinedine Zidane, which is not really a team that you would associate with developing great talent. Obviously, they've had great players come through, but never really challenging in Ligue 1. Just kind of surprised to see that. Another trend that I kind of just wanted to point out, I'm well documented at this point and everybody knows about it, but the attackers are worth so much more than the defenders. Kyle Walker was bought for 52.7 by Manchester City, which is like a quarter of what Neymar would purchase for. And it was that in that same year. Now, obviously, Neymar is one of the greatest players in the world, but Kyle Walker is one of the best right backs in the world, one of the best defenders, even. So I thought this would be an interesting idea to kind of gauge what teams are doing the best business. So I also plan on breaking this down into specific clubs. Like I've already taken a look at Benfica, Ajax, and I'm working on Dortmund right now, and I'll be producing those videos. I think this is one of the coolest parts about all football is kind of how the teams can support themselves just off of the player sales alone. Like some teams like Barcelona, Manchester United, Real Madrid, they don't care about paying fees for players because they know they're going to get the gate fees. They know they're going to get the TV money. They know they're going to win Champions League and get the money from that. But then you have some clubs like Dortmund, Benfica, Ajax, Milan to an extent. But these clubs that earn a lot of their money based on player sales and they developing the young talent. And I just think that's a fantastic part of the game. So look forward to those videos in the near future. Let me know if there's a specific team that you want me to cover. I don't really know where I'm going to go from here, but I'll probably just throw a dart at the wall. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.